Hey, Reem, how are you? Look, what we'll do is I'll get started and then I'll just bring this across. So what we'd like to do is for those who have just come on board, let us know where you are. Daniel Hayne, hello, mate. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you're having a great Monday wherever you are dialing in from. Hopefully you're keeping safe. Who else we got out there? Send me, put a message in there. Let me know who's there. Let me know where you're coming or dialing in from. Look, I'm with a great friend of mine, Reem Borrows. So what we're going to do is, in order to start, so this is the very first ever Talk to Tony webinar series, and the whole idea of this is that we wanted to come together and have a chat to various business owners and see how they're going in their current business, how they're performing, that is just business generally, but then also how they're performing with what's going on around the world at the moment, the uncertainty, what are the things that they're doing in their business, how their clients performing, how can we help people? Generally, this is all about helping all business owners and individuals move forward in what is incredibly uncertain times. And over the next hour or so, we're going to be having a chat, both Reem and I. So for those who aren't aware of who I am, Tony Meredith's my name. I'm a business coach, specialise in sales, leadership and marketing, mindset and marketing, but also do property coaching as well, and a property developer. So wear a number of hats. But look, I'm here with a great friend of mine, Reem Borrows. So Reem, what I might do is get you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and a little bit about what you do.
Thank you so much, Tony. It's such a pleasure to be here too. Thank you.
That's okay.
It's amazing, when you were introducing yourself, number one, I thought maybe I could become the whole IT expert here and give you some tips on how to use the webinar. I was really getting excited because everyone laughs at me at my IT expertise.
Yes.
But our background is they're incredibly similar, aren't they? Even though, we've known each other for a few years now, but
Yep.
we have had probably the same track for the last 20 years without even realising it.
Correct.
In terms of not only living in Brisbane, going to the same university, graduating with the same degree, working in the same industry, which is the pharmaceutical industry for a very, very long time, climbing up the corporate ladder because we have a love for people and helping to develop people, and then moving into our own sort of businesses, which is all around a personal development. And for me, that's been really critical. I'm a mindset coach, plus a business coach, sales coach, and leadership coaching as well. And it's all around the strategy and delivering, basically, helping people deliver the results that they want, be it as individuals or as for businesses.
So when you talk about mindset, coach, so just elaborate on that for me, because we hear a lot about mindset. So what does that mean in your business?
Yeah. Okay. So look, it's foundational. So you can be a business coach, you can be a great strategist, you can be a CEO for an organization globally, you can be whatever it is. It all starts with a mindset. Until you've got that right, and never before until like today, in the circumstances that we're seeing right now, has this piece meant so much, because from a foundational perspective, you get the mindset right. Everything else will follow. And a great friend of mine actually had this saying, and it was all around, everything. Success is all around 95% mindset, 5% strategy. And the strategy is critical. And both you and I have been trained beautifully over the decades. We can now say decades, Tony.
Correct, we can.
On strategy, and we know, like, we close our eyes and we understand what strategy is, but unless you've got the right mindset, it means nothing.
Fantastic. And sorry, I interrupted before. So your business name and where are you operating? Where are you based?
Okay, so my business name is Dream Coaching and Consulting, and that's DREEM. And I'm sort of based in Sydney, but I like to think I'm globally based, Tony, because we can be anywhere, anytime, anyhow.
So the office is in Sydney, but your clients are global.
Absolutely.
Terrific. Very good. And how long have you been operating for?
So I've been operating now for 3 wonderful years. And I feel like I've been operating for 20 years. And again, it's all the whole mindset piece, because all I've done is transferred all that beautiful knowledge into my own business.
Yep, fantastic. And so why Dream Consulting? And Dream is a play on words for those who are just getting it. So Reem's first name, but to put the D in front, so Dream. But why Dream Consulting? Because you've come from a corporate background, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny because some people go, oh, well, it's really easy. You throw a D in the front of my name when you've got Dream Consulting, and that was a pretty easy way to go, but it's not at all. The reason why it's called Dream Consulting, and while it's really a big part of strategy and development and business development, it's quite a serious business. Everything starts with the imagination. Nothing doesn't start with the imagination. You know, from the second you have a thought, you are planting the seed. And the question is, what seed are you planting? One of growth, or are you planting one of regression? And so everything starts with that dream, which is the imagination and the thought.
I love it. I love it. And just whilst Reem's talking, please put into the comments any questions that you may have of her, of I. We'd love to be able to answer those for you. So we've just got a few more people have come on. Reem, we've got Sunil here, Martin, who I mentioned before. We've got Phil, Jeff. G'day, guys. Hopefully having a great Monday. And, of course, Daniel as well, as I mentioned. So thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. We've got hands going up all over the place, trying to keep a track of who's here. Linda's here, Simon's here. Wowee, we've got a big audience starting to build, Reem, which is very exciting. So Reem, right about now, so you touched on, mindset is more important than ever right about now. So talk me through how you're applying your mindset on yourself first and foremost.
That's a really good question, because it all starts with us. You have to really start with yourself, don't you, before you can help anyone else. Look, we are getting tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of information. Like anywhere you go, you are getting information, be them right or wrong. And for me, the first step is to understand that I've got the ability to accept or reject any piece of information that's coming my way. And for me, what I'm doing right now is continue now more than ever. It's important to have a look at, well, what does mindset mean and how to apply it even in the current environment? Because if you allow yourself, and I found myself, Tony, it's interesting. I found myself the other day scrolling through Facebook, because I very rarely scroll through Facebook. I allowed myself to scroll through Facebook, and it was 20 minutes later that I realized the sort of information that I was allowed to come in, and I started texting people without even realizing it. Was someone like myself who's highly trained in having focus. And then I started to realize, well, what damage is this having at a subconscious level on me? Because it started to evoke certain emotions. As you know, we take action based on emotion, not thinking. It's based on feeling, not thinking. And if we're not careful, the amount of information that's coming through right now, the trillions bits of information on the coronavirus, we are impacting the way that we think, the way that we feel, and then therefore the way that we react, and therefore the end results that we're getting. So the first thing I've done is shut off all notifications to things that I don't want to see, and only turned on notifications for things that I do want to read. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you deny what's going on. That's the last thing we want to do. But there's also a level of, well, what do I feed myself, and what am I consuming? What information am I consuming right now?
What prompted you to stop when you were scrolling through for 20 minutes? Love to know what was it that got you to actually stop, because there'll be a lot of people who are here who may be watching this video at a later date, and they find it hard to stop, right? You get yourself caught up in this vortex of scrolling through social media. So what did you do specifically to stop that day that you said you were scrolling?
So everything we do is simple, right? Everything is simple, but it's harder than what you think it is. But because I train a lot of people, I train a lot of companies, a lot of individuals, a lot of executives, and we coach. I mean, I help them on a daily basis on how to stop certain bad habits. Behaviors. So it's all based on feelings, how you're currently feeling. So for me, it's being in touch constantly with how is this making me feel, and what are the emotions that I'm going through. So the first thing is that I recognized this numbness. There's a numbness when you, have you ever recognized, I don't know if you recognize, it was a brand new feeling for me, but when you're scrolling, you get quite numb. Okay, that's number one. And number two, I could feel the anger rising.
Ah, gotcha.
The emotions, it could be, look, it could be either you could be feeling sad, hopeless, anger, like this is all over. You can go through the world is falling, all of that. And you really need to be able to recognize those feelings very quickly. Now, the question is, how do you stop? And the reality is, this is how you do it. Are you ready for it, Tony?
I'm ready.
You stop.
Right. Okay. Wow. All right. I was expecting something a tad more elaborate than that. So that's it.
For me, well, there's two sides. The first thing is you have to actually, I physically say stop. I physically say that and I put the phone down. And then the most important part is because with social media, with anything that it is, it's a habit. And if you want to get rid of one habit, you have to replace it with another. You have to consciously replace it with another good habit. So over the years, I've trained myself to actually write. Over the years, I've trained myself to read. Over the years, I've trained myself to fill voids with the things that I do want. Because here's the thing, whether we like it or not, we're going to create habit. We're habitual creatures, as you know. Now, 96 to 98% of our behavior is at a habitual level. So we don't actually know that we're doing it. And if that's the case, and if we know that we're habitual, do you get to choose? It's up to you whether you're going to choose the habits that you form or you allow them to be formed for you, which usually mean they're negative habits. So if you don't fill a void, for me, if I don't stop a habit, so if I don't fill a void, it will just be filled with a negative habit. So then I just consciously go and choose what it is that I'm going to fill that void with.
Okay.